Check, 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 check. We should have volume now. Mic check, mic check. Good. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the live stream for this morning. We're just going to be doing a really rough watch list build out. I haven't looked at anything. Not really. So we're going to be doing this together. First time experience everything this morning together, and hopefully we get a pretty good watch list together. So SPY, we're on the daily time frame here. Obviously what's really clear is that this high rejected previously, and so we're on this downtrend now. And so I think that we try to stick with this trend today and maximize our chances of being profitable. So we'll go to the 5 minute. That's the daily. So we know the daily SPY is selling, right? So if on the daily SPY is selling, what makes the most sense for us from here is to just look for lower lows and a continuation sell-off. So SPY will be a short below 674, just below the pre-market lows. Now the long level, this is kind of, it gets tough because the downtrend looks a lot like this. And so you might consider this move up and this pullback to be part of a reversal move back up, where you would actually look to go long right here, just above your pre-market high. But the problem with that is if you were to go long above your pre-market high, then you've got potential resistance there, and there. So if you're going long here, at what point of resistance does this reject, and what is the safest level to trade around? That's the big question. The furthest level is probably the safest level, which would mean long above 680.5. But that's so far away on SPY compared to where it's currently trading at that it doesn't make sense to set a level way up there. So I'm actually going to go with the most aggressive level that I can set beyond the pre-market high, which is a break of this point of resistance, which is going to be 678.5. 678.5. But keep in mind that you could be flexible here. If you need more confirmation, you would just move this level up. If you want to be more aggressive, then you could maybe even move the level down or just leave it where it's at. If you're somewhere in the middle, maybe just consider moving it to that peak right there. This is what makes the most sense to me on SPY. So let's go day trade watch list. Remember, I post this focus list every afternoon. So next one for us is Netflix. You should have already had these charted out. Netflix is included on the watch list because it's selling, and it has been selling. It has not made a recovery move. This to me looks like a bear flag formation. Right? So there's your bear flag. So we're going to be looking for this to drop lower. We're going to see we want to basically see the bottom of this thing drop out. So this is higher low, higher low, higher low, right? So any lower low tells us that the bottom on Netflix could be dropping out, and this bear flag could be following through. Oh, you're not getting any sound? It looks to be fine on my end. I'm seeing sound bars come through. Maybe check your speakers. Is everybody else good on sound? Okay, I'm not getting a reply, so maybe the sound is not working. Check, check. Okay, some are saying the sound is fine. So we're going to continue on. Okay. Netflix, yes, we're looking for the bear flag breakdown on the daily time frame, which means we just watch for lower lows. So this was going to be a short idea underneath yesterday's low of day area. You could go aggressive on this short at 94. The safer thing to do is just give it some room to flex. So your ultimate price target here going to be 92. This will be a side chart. So we say Netflix below 93.5. And remember, we're looking for that bear flag breakdown. Okay, next one on the list is Starbucks. This was an up gapper from yesterday that also gave you a continuation topside. The only problem is that the up gap has now gapped down. So that makes it a little tougher to trade, but we can now look for a red to green move on the reclaim of that previous day's closing price. So Starbucks, long idea above 89.5. Up next, you have Microsoft. Microsoft was it a range that we said? A range breakout on the daily, I believe. Not quite a range, but yeah, essentially just looking for the break of this downtrend trend line, which we got. So now what this formation kind of looks like, if we just zoom out a little bit, is almost like a descending triangle, right? So if I zoom out, so now we can see this kind of looks like a descending triangle, right? Overall, where you've got this series of lower highs and a flat bottom of support. You can have patterns within patterns, so this could also be a double bottom, but the neckline isn't until like 494, 495, and then we start to look for the run towards 500. So we're not bearish on this, is what we're pointing out. Microsoft gave us the breakout move yesterday, really solid follow through on this run until it was over with, and then nothing there beyond that. So there's really two ways you can approach this. Number one, you go long at yesterday's high of day area, which you could do, but percentage wise, you're missing out on an almost 1%, close to 1% profit margin. So you could, if you need more confirmation, but you're okay taking less profits, Microsoft above 489 works. The other thing that we could do is go aggressive on this, because this is a downtrend, right? And that downtrend is broken. This series of, so this is let me circle it. Your high, your lower high, your lower high, lower high, all the way down, right? Until you don't get lower highs anymore. And then this flat lines, and then you start to get, one second, let me clear my throat. Sorry about that. I did not want to cough in the mic. So what you start to get from this formation and then the move up in the pre-market is a break of this downtrend, and you start to get higher highs with higher lows. You see what I'm saying there? So Microsoft, not Netflix, Microsoft, since we are getting higher highs and higher lows established in the pre-market, we can take advantage of this earlier than waiting on this to get to 489. And then you can just risk off of that PDC, right? Because if this is truly a higher low being put in, then we should not make lower lows. So the rest of this trend should look like this. Next rally or next leg up, and then pull back, and then go, right? So it should look something like that. So it should not ever get down to the PDC today if this is going to go. Therefore, I don't mind being aggressive on Microsoft long above 486. And for the notes here, so we're not going to set a short level, right? We're not interested in that. But for the notes here, we're going to say it's breaking the downtrend trend line on the daily. On the daily time frame. And today, we are watching for a continuation. Top side. Okay, up next is going to be AMD. I got something here on my phone. Up next is AMD. So if you don't remember why this is on the watch list, here's why. You've got a bear pennant, so this would be a pullback, right, into a pennant formation. This is a bear pennant because the preceding trend is down. So a bear pennant breakdown here, and then you've got a gap below that has partially been filled. That gap actually starts underneath 195, right? So we'll just note the top side of that gap. Let's just put a dashed line there. And then we're also trading, AMD's also trading at the $200 hold number. So one way to approach this today is, well, if AMD fails this uptrend trend line and fails this gap up that it has this morning and fails under the PDC and fails under 200, boom, 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 all of that happening. That's three things I just talked about there. I don't know if you caught that. Let me backtrack. If AMD fails to hold this uptrend trend line as a point of support, if AMD fails to hold the previous day's close as a point of support, if AMD fails to hold the $200 hold number as a point of support, you have three confirmations here to take the position short for a move lower down to the top side of this gap. So 195 becomes your price target and 200 becomes your entry point. So AMD, we're going to say short below 200 without a doubt. And then your long level, if you were to place one, I mean, could this bounce and go from here? Yes. Do you really? I don't know if you necessarily need to place one, but because I'm leaning more bearish on this, because it's a bearish setup, I'm not going to be aggressive with the long level and say long at 204, right? If anything, I want to be more aggressive with the short level. So my long level, I'm actually going to place up here at yesterday's resistance. So it'll be a long above 206 or a short below 200. Any outside movement on AMD today, basically straddling yesterday's price action, any outside movement should give you direction. So we'll say here, wait for direction to be established before, keyword before, placing a trade. We'll say leaning more bearish on this name due to the overall movement on the daily. So the overall movement right now, and this changes with your perspective because the overall overbearing trend on AMD is up, right? Without a doubt, we can see that. It is up. But the most recent trend on AMD here is down. But even further than that, the most recent trend is actually up. But what we have had is this stair step of a sell-off into up, and a sell-off into up, and a sell-off into up. And what do you think we look for today? Sell-off, right? So we're going to be looking to take AMD short under 200, otherwise long above 206. Go back to the daily. I got marks all over this chart, so just trying to clean this up a bit. Looks like that gap. We'll get rid of this. We can get rid of that. And this back here. Okay. Next on our list is Tesla. So again, if you don't remember why something is on the watch list, or maybe you didn't do the homework, always chart it on a larger time frame. I usually use the daily. Always chart the larger time frames first. So 4 days, 3 days, 4 days of consolidation here. 3 days hitting the same point of resistance, but definitely that right there is a range. So you have consolidation just above will identify the support as well. So consolidation just above 465 and just below 490, give or take a couple of dollars. So where is this trading at this morning? Just under 490. Yeah, so anything up here works. these levels can be a bit subjective, but as long as we're all in the same area. So this is nowhere near the support point, right? Like if we're looking at this chart, this is not trading anywhere near this support. So because it's trading closer to the resistance and not the support, we are not going to be bearish on this today. We are going to be looking for the break of the resistance, and that is the only thing I want to look for. So long above 490, long above 491, long above 492, and as a stretch, maybe long above 494. Though once you get up to 494, you know, you're over 1% away from the stock's current trade price, which means that that 1% is something that we could take advantage of. So we're going to go long at 490 today. And then your price target 1 is going to be 494 to 495. So we're going to say Tesla, long above 490. On watch for a break of the ranging static resistance overhead following the morning gap up. Easy, right? And then the last one here is PLTR, and then we're going to do one more thing before we end the stream. So PLTR is very similar setup to Tesla, right? Like if we put PLTR, let's go PLTR here, and let's go Tesla here, and then let's flop both of these to the daily. This is why I say, you know, you have to do your homework and chart these out at the end of the day, because you see setups repeat themselves. Don't these two look very similar? Look, this is Tesla on the right. Can you see that? Yes. And this is PLTR on the left. Don't they look the same? Look, you have a pullback and a pullback, right? Then you've got a break of the downtrend trend line and a reclaim of the 50, break of the downtrend trend line and a reclaim of the 50, right? Into a run up, into a run up, into a consolidation phase, into a consolidation phase. Aren't these two setups very similar? And then if you want to go one step further, $500 is just overhead for Tesla. $200 is just overhead for PLTR, right? So really, really similar setups here. So there's no difference between the two on how we approach these, on how we want to trade these, on which one is better than the other, because they're both the same. So it doesn't really matter. The question is which one is going to move, right? Which one is going to break the resistance, if any? So PLTR, let's go back to the big chart. Let's go 5-minute time frame PLTR. Yeah, we're just going to be looking for a break of the resistance, which is up here in this area. It's not very clear. It's not one specific line. So it's roughly 188 to 189 up to 190. I don't mind being aggressive on this since, again, it's trading closer to the resistance than the support of the most recent ranging consolidation on the daily. So we're going to add PLTR. Why is that not capital? PLTR. And then we're going to say long over 188. And I mean, we can basically copy paste here. On watch for a break of the ranging resistance overhead. I don't really need to say much more than that. All right. So that is our full focus list. Everything here that I've posted yesterday is still in play for today, right? I don't think that we removed any of those. We kept all of them on the watch list. So everything that you did in terms of analysis yesterday should still be accurate. Now there's a couple that we might want to check on. One of them is Oracle. So TikTok's, here, I'll just read it to you. Oracle shares are trading higher after TikTok agreed to sell its U.S. operations to a new joint venture. Oracle, along with two other investors, are the purchasers of this sale. So that's why Oracle is up this morning. So it's a gap up. This could be huge. I don't know. I think it actually broke it down in here somewhere. I think I read it about what the split is in terms of profits. But TikTok is huge. It is massive. And whether you use it or not is a moot point. TikTok is massive. It is a big, big, big social media platform and a very big generator of money, of sales. So Oracle getting a slice of that revenue, could be huge, right? So I think it's wise that we look for a follow through on Oracle with the gap up this morning. So here's your run after hours into a pullback, and then the obvious thing here is long above 193. But I think that because of this news catalyst, we can be aggressive on this because this would be a downtrend trend line, correct? With lower highs and lower lows. So on a break of that downtrend trend line, essentially what we're getting is higher highs and hopefully higher lows to continue this trend up. Therefore, we do not need to wait on this to get to 194. That's not, if this was a linear move and it was opening at 190, 193, 194, it's a different story. But that's not what we're given. We are given that move, but we're then given that pullback. Which is great because I always say on gap up days, one of the things that we look for, the ideal scenario on a gap up day is an opening dip that gets bought. In the case of Oracle, you don't need an opening dip because you're already getting the dip in the pre-market. You can see it, right? This is your dip. This is your move, and this is about a 50% retracement of that move. So the next leg is up. And because of that, we can be aggressive on this. So you do not need to wait for this to get to 193. If anything, 193 becomes your price target. I'm going to go as aggressive as possible on this, long above 190. Oracle, long above 190. MU, I wanted to check on this because it had earnings yesterday. It really didn't do anything after earnings. It tried to do something and then ultimately failed. I was wanting to see if this was at 260 or near the all-time high, but it's not right now. So I don't think that there's anything here for us today. Just maybe set an alert at 260. Eventually, if this does run today, next week sometime, I think we add this back on the list for all-time highs. So let's roll through and see what is given. Meta had a nice run yesterday. Meta could be a solid for a follow-through move today above 670. That looks pretty good. But we have a full watch list, so I want to leave what we have on the list and only add something if it takes the place of something else. Pan W with the gap up. Is this okay? So Alphabet's Google Cloud expands partnership with Palo Alto to enhance AI security. Okay, so that's why that's up. Could be something to watch. Microsoft looks good. And so I'm just scrolling through these very quickly now. And the only thing that I'm going to be looking at and for is a pre-market gap up or a pre-market move. Amazon's been moving nicely recently. Pretty solid run yesterday, but again, I don't want to add anything unless it's taken the place of something else that we got. But if Amazon replaces something for you, that's not a bad idea. It's a pretty good setup on Amazon today. Okay, so Nike's down from earnings could be a potential short idea. Okay, so far I'm not seeing anything that looks better than what we have. That's JPM. Apple. So Apple, this price action is kind of wild yesterday. Look at this really aggressive sell-off, remember? And then we made some money there, but then this crazy recovery back up, and then a higher low, and then a lower high, higher low, lower high, higher, and so it's like this crazy, like, kind of triangle looking. I don't even know. That is wild to me. I'm not sure that I've ever seen a pattern that's kind of this crystal clear, but then not do anything from it. Usually if you get a pattern like that, there's like some kind of news catalyst or some direction that's being about to be established, and you get a big move outside of that. But going into today, there's nothing here. And because this range is so wide, I really wouldn't want to go long on this until 274 or short until 268. And where this is trading at, it's smack dab in the middle, right? It's a 50-50 chance if this moves up or moves down. And even if it does move up or move down, the likelihood of it breaking a point of support or resistance is slim. So there's nothing here for us today on Apple, but we definitely want to keep an eye on that going into next week. Give me a second. I'm almost done here. I know we're kind of getting close to market open. Just got a few more names to roll through. So Rivian, this made a really nice move yesterday, but I don't want to add this to the list. Oh man, I don't know. Actually, the daily looks kind of crazy. Is this just running from earnings? I'm not totally sure. Rivian, it's 52-week highs. This could be something that gives you a follow through. I think that with our watch list being as full as it is, I'm not going to replace anything for Rivian, but it might be something that you're interested in trading with a 52-week high. If you traded Rivian today, I wouldn't be upset about it. Uh-oh. All right, I'm just kind of getting down to the end of this list. And so we'll do one more final check of our full watch list before we get this posted for everybody. So let's go. We'll just use the flex grid. It's going to be the easiest. We'll go 5-minute time frame for everything. And we start with SPY. Above 678 and short below 674. Is that what we have? Okay, so actually 678.5. So long above 678.5. Short below 674. Yes. Good. Microsoft, how's this looking? Long above 486. Yes. We may move. If this opens up higher than that, you may move it up. You might move that up. But for right now, it's fine. AMD, 206 and 200. It is kind of smack dab in the middle, but I'm hoping for an outside day and AMD to give us a bigger move. So we'll see if that's given. Tesla above 490. Looks good. And then we're going to go PLTR, Netflix. PLTR looks good. Netflix looks good. Under 93.5. Yep. And then we've got Starbucks over 89.5 and Oracle over 190. Ooh, whoa. Well, it's got a little sell off here. All right, 190 is still a level. That's still the level. We're going to rock with it. All right, so this is your full watch list for today. If you are new to the Discord server, first and foremost, welcome in. Welcome in. We'd love to have you on the team and in the Discord server. We have been trading live all week long, and I just want to let you know that Fridays are usually days that I just take for myself. Sometimes I'll trade in my personal account. I will never trade in the challenge account without trading live. So sometimes I trade in my personal account. Sometimes I don't trade at all. I'm just going to be honest with you. I had a really great day yesterday. We've had a pretty decent week so far. I think I'm just going to end the week here and not trade live today. Plus, I've got this gym that I'm opening up, and I've got to go lay baseboards at the gym. I'm doing a lot of the build out myself just to save money over there. Plus, I enjoy that kind of work. So you are going to be on your own today, but not really. You have the whole Discord server to help you out. You can bounce ideas off of each other in the main chat, or if you want to trade live with each other, you can do that in the open chat of the Discord server. So scroll down bottom left-hand side. Open chat right here. So not the arena. This is where we normally trade live, but I'm not going to be in here today. So if you do have voice permissions in the open chat to trade with each other. So if you'd want to go into the open chat and talk, you're more than welcome to do that. And then beyond that, you've got this watch list. Yeah, let me get this posted. You've got the watch list. You've got this pre-market plan that we've laid out. So, follow, if you don't know what to do, follow the watch list to a T, wait for your confirmations, and make sure you're trading using the rules laid out for you there. Cool. All right. Good luck today. Hope you make some money. Help each other out. Trade safe, trade smart. If you're trading this week's expiration contracts or today's expiration contracts, rather, be careful with that. You might want to size down due to the volatility of those contracts by nature. All right, go make some money. And if you're not trading today, in your paper trading, treat it like live trading, treat it like real trading. And if you're not conducting any trades at all, live trading or paper trading, then good luck watching the price action, and maybe just try to conduct some trades in your head. Fake it, right? Conduct some trades in your head and see like, okay, did I have a good enough idea? Would this idea have worked out? And then review it at the end of the day. All right, good luck. Again, you got this. I'm not going to be trading live today. I'm not going to be trading in my personal account. I'm not going to be trading in the challenge account. So it's going to be a total day off for me. I'm going to end this live stream here, and then I've got some work to do at the new gym that we're opening. So take care, go make some money, and we'll see you later. Cheers. Hope the review helped this